Oh.
So here I'm looking into, yeah?
Yeah, that is the lens, yeah.
It needs a clean.
So yeah, that thing there.
Weird. So I don't even know if it's recording. Sure it is.
Let's just hope it is recording. But yeah, keep looking in there, because then the people who are watching this think you're talking to them. It's genius. You don't have to eyeball them, because then that would be a bit freaky.
I missed the screen. Okay, weird. Okay. This is episode 9.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Episode 9?
Episode 9. And today we are talking about beliefs. Look at that, straight in there, no messing about. We've learned a lot the last 8 episodes, haven't we?
Toby has.
I've learned a lot. Dipti's a professional.
I'm a
camera,
professional. I've actually,
selfie person.
I've actually increased the level of makeup I wear. I've been watching YouTube videos on how to put makeup on for filming. So, yeah. Let me know.
Oh, I haven't, so there you go. Anyway, so we're going to crack on, aren't we? No messing about anymore.
Beliefs are my favourite topic.
I thought logical levels was your favourite topic.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Beliefs are my second favourite topic.
Okay. So, beliefs.
Yeah. What are beliefs, Toby?
Wow, it's a good question, isn't it? You know our logical levels.
Yeah.
So, this beliefs and values sit above capabilities.
And below identity.
Below identity,
Okay.
yeah. And they support capability. So, they support your actions. You know, so depending what you believe, will affect how you behave.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of what you're doing, etc. So they're very powerful things, beliefs.
Really powerful, and the really interesting thing I find about beliefs is that most people believe their beliefs.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, but you can also have conflicting beliefs, can't you?
Yeah, and that's why you get that kind of conflicting voice in your head.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. What if, and this is a strange thing to put out there, but what if your beliefs were not necessarily true all the time?
Well, they might not be, aren't they? Beliefs change, don't they?
Hmm.
You know, you don't have the same beliefs when you have when you were 10 now.
No, because you don't believe in Father Christmas now, hopefully.
Yes, I do. What do you mean?
Oh,
it's
no.
not real.
Oh no. I might have to go and get some Valium. Something for you to kind of cope with this realisation.
That is shocking.
Father Christmas does not exist, Toby.
I need therapy.
So yeah, again, go back to our beliefs change.
Yeah, so beliefs can change, but they also say that a lot of our core beliefs, you know, are formed before we're like 6 years old or something like that.
So core beliefs are like who we are, what we're capable of, or do you mean that?
Yeah, you know, kind of identity beliefs, I think, yeah, about what we believe is true about the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say to my clients all the time, a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking over and over again. So a repeated thought becomes a belief.
Totally, yeah. And if you're not questioning that thought, if it's unconscious and it's kind of running you, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And that's where the beliefs get coded into the subconscious part of your brain, because when you believe something, it's easy, isn't it? You don't question it. You don't have to kind of validate it somewhere. You just kind of go on that belief and act in that same way and kind of keep repeating those, I don't know, whatever they are, actions or behaviours according to that belief system. So really it's kind of an efficient way of running through life, isn't it? Because if we didn't have beliefs, then we'd be constantly worried or questioning everything.
Yeah,
or doubting
we need to
ourselves.
form some structure.
Yeah.
That how can we make sense of the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
But beliefs can often be confused with facts.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and they're not, are they? They're just like a story that we're telling ourselves about the world. So
And opinion as well. Opinion can really sway our belief system. And so opinions can also be confused with facts, can't they? So if I have an opinion and you don't share that opinion, you might say, I am wrong. When I don't feel I am wrong, because nobody feels that they are wrong in their opinion. Everybody from their own point of view is right. So we've got to understand that all opinions don't have to be facts, and all beliefs don't have to be facts. They're just a way of viewing that bit of information or the world from that person's perspective.
Yeah. Good.
I've done a lot of work on beliefs.
Yeah.
Well, my whole practice is based on helping people look at and examine their own belief systems about their own health or their own healing or about how they can move forwards.
Yeah. So it's, a belief is like a generalization about what can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, of course, our beliefs can become true. The more you believe something, the more true it becomes for yourself, because you act in that way, or you, I don't know, hang around with people who support that same belief system.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if, for example, if you joined a community that had a completely separate belief system or different belief system to you, then you would always be the outcast, or you would always be the sheep, the black sheep, the different one, and people would always kind of shun you. And it's a tribal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So think about how we all connect as communities or as families. If we're all sharing that same belief and value system, we can all fit in nicely.
Yeah, so that works with teams as well,
Yeah.
Sports teams or business teams, I can imagine. Yeah. I suppose that's why, you know, corporate companies will kind of drill in the belief, you know, about the company, and they want everyone to believe that and get on board, don't they?
Yeah, because that's the message and that's the ethos or the philosophy that that corporation wants to take forward. And of course, if there's like a discrepancy in that, then that's going to be a kind of wave that sort of disrupts everybody, and then that can be seen as dangerous because it can cause fractures in that system.
Right. So I think with my jiu-jitsu then, there's a belief thing there, you know, can I do this, you know? And I think beliefs are structured in certain ways. They'll be like, I can, I can't, I shouldn't, I must. Yeah. So, you know, if you're really clear about something, I can do this, it's much easier, isn't it? But with my jiu-jitsu, I have a bit of doubt, I think. Oh, I can't do this, I'm going to get injured, I'm too old, you know, it's a silly thing to be doing.
So self-belief is really important. But what I'm sometimes a little bit confused about is, you know, you can get these kind of well-meaning coaches or therapists who drill into you, kind of believe in yourself, you know, kind of self-affirmation of self-worthiness and self-love, which I absolutely agree with. But can you be, I guess, unrealistic with your belief system? So if, you know, we talked about in one episode, I think it might have been last week, it could have been the week before, I'll find out and link it. But basically you talked about climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
No. We haven't won the lottery either again. So even if you repeat to yourself, I can climb the mountain, I can climb the mountain, and you listen to mantras telling you that you can climb mountains, and you code into your belief system that you can climb Mount Everest, does that really mean you can climb Mount Everest?
No, but then I don't want to climb Mount Everest, so there'll be a conflict anyway, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
So even if I, you know, your gut, your instinct is gonna tell you. But that's the question. What's the difference then between me saying I want to climb Mount Everest and knowing deep down I'm never going to do that?
Yeah.
To, you know, I want to keep training jiu-jitsu, but doubting myself, you know.
Yeah.
How do you know
which one is which.
Yeah.
Well, I guess then, if you know that you don't want to climb Mount Everest and you can sense that feeling of, actually, I'm not that bothered about this, I'm just doing it because I feel like I should, going back to that idea of I should, I can't, I will, I won't, or whatever it was, I must. So going back to that idea, if you feel like you should do something but it doesn't feel lined up and congruent with your why, your value and why you're doing what you're doing, and that's what we talked about in one of our episodes. Why is this important to me?
Yeah, beliefs are all about why.
Yeah, if it doesn't match up fully and authentically with the why, well then, you know, that's where the conflict will continue to kind of keep arising in your awareness.
So, like, why?
Is jiu-jitsu important to you?
Yeah,
that's a good question to ask yourself. Why?
And how will my life be better if I believe I can keep training jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, ask yourself that now. Ask yourself that.
Well, be good for my confidence, be good for my fitness. I think it's nice as well. You're kind of part of a team who's all trying to achieve something. I like that kind of, I like being part of a team. I used to play football, so I miss that kind of, everyone in the team with the same kind of purpose. And, it'd be nice to be able to choke people out if you had to.
Just don't practice on me. We'll be good then.
Yeah.
So there's loads of reasons why. So if you can get those whys in front of the feeling of I can't, what changes?
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
That was his thinking face.
Yeah. That's serious, isn't it? Yeah. There's in NLP there's something called submodalities. So if you think about something, say I think about doing jiu-jitsu, I'm immediately internally creating a picture, which will have a sound, which will, and the picture will have colour, will be strong, will be, and that's quite interesting to see. So it's not just a thought.
So you are visual, because that's not everybody.
Well, and a feeling.
Yeah, so you're kinesthetic and visual. Just a warning, not everybody has the same submodalities.
No, but a submodality is just a picture, a feeling, a sound, a smell. It can be a taste as well, but internally.
So it's a way of referencing a memory.
Yeah, or... Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah. Or you can, obviously, if you're thinking about the future, you're still creating internal submodalities. Yeah.
So, but some people might have more stronger visual than they would kinesthetic. Yeah,
I knew a guy that could, see an object in full 3D colour and turn it around and upside down, designer. But I don't see, I don't see objects.
No.
But I get a sense of a visual.
So you're more feeling, probably, aren't you? Yeah, that's interesting. I'm more... I don't really know what I am. I've been trying
You're disconnected from there down. So.
Keep saying this. I've just got a really good way of disassociating. I'm a therapist. We have to have a way of disassociating. Otherwise, I'd be completely bonkers. The amount of clients I have to see and listen to.
Yeah, but you don't want to be permanently disassociated.
I'm not, though. I'm not permanently disassociated. I can feel. I can feel deeply. Promise. Anyway, submodalities we were talking about. Carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. So basically, we've all formed certain beliefs which change as we go through life, and it's probably good to figure out what your beliefs are, isn't it? I mean, does everyone know? I remember when I first started to do this work and I had to look at my beliefs and values. Does everyone know what their, value, what's important to you? I learned a really good belief from Steve Peters as well, and that is life's not fair.
That's a good one.
And it's not. So if your belief is life is fair,
you're going to be upset
and then
all the time.
you see a guy driving a Ferrari down the road, and you're going to be like messed up, aren't you?
If you don't have a Ferrari.
Yeah, if you don't have a Ferrari, and you want a Ferrari, and you can't get a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Or you hear someone that wins the lottery. But life's not fair, is it? But if you believe that, actually, that's a good thing to believe.
It's like a stoic. Is that kind of like a stoic viewpoint?
Yeah, it's just it's just honest.
Yeah.
Belief.
Yeah, realistic.
Yeah. But on the logical levels, you have beliefs and values. We're focusing more on beliefs here, but they're very linked.
Yeah, and that's why they're together on the logical levels. I think they're really linked. They can be separated, but they're kind of part and parcel of the same system.
Yeah, because if you know what's important to you, it's kind of easier to create beliefs that support that.
You don't really have a belief if you don't value that thought, I suppose. It's got to be important enough to you to continue thinking it, do you think?
Or, yeah. I mean, many people have beliefs that don't support them, though, don't they?
Yeah. Or they've been told something. That's another way of believing something. It's like a kind of passed down through generation belief system. So it could be like my mum believed something and then she drilled it into me, for example, and I didn't question it, and then I just continued to believe it, and then I pass that belief system down to my children who don't question it, and then they continue to believe it. So you've always got to question the beliefs that don't move you forward and that do hold you back. And that way you can start to play around with them and start to recognise where that belief came from. Was it a belief that's generated from you and your experience from life, or was it handed down to you, probably unconsciously, by, I don't know, a teacher, a parent, a boyfriend? That's the idea here, is you've always got the opportunity to question your own belief system, and you don't then have to be completely associated to all of them.
A good thing to do then would be, to start with, is you need to have some awareness around what your beliefs are. So if you want to even think about starting to change a belief, you've got to know what it is, haven't you? Yeah.
Or even be able to identify the belief that underpins maybe like an unhealthy pattern in your life, or where people might do something again and again and again, like a repeated, like get into the same like negative relationship, for example, because they might have a belief, a personal belief about not being good enough, for example, and then that continues to repeat itself in their history. So it's just about finding the kind of common denominator belief that runs through all of those life experiences, and then starting to change that, because then all these experiences will start to change.
Do you think there's some core beliefs we have? I remember hearing that beliefs, it's like a bunch of grapes almost, and you can have a core, the main belief, and then there'll be lots of other little beliefs like attached to it.
Yeah.
So if you can get down to the core belief and change that, then all the other
fall away.
Yeah,
and that's what we do in hypnotherapy all the time, don't we? Because hypnotherapy, solution-focused hypnotherapy, gets to the root of the issue or the problem. So somebody might come in with a problem that's kind of surface, but actually that surface problem is being supported and underpinned by all of those beliefs, or that belief and the bunch of grapes surrounding it. So if you can get that belief and help the client, basically fade it away and recognise that that doesn't have to be so relevant in their life, everything else does start to change.
Do you have an example of a client changing a belief?
Yes.
Put you on the spot?
Yeah, so many of them, but of course I've got to be quite general with how I speak, because I can't give really specific things away because of client confidentiality. But for example, somebody who might have OCD, they believe that the pattern that they are exhibiting, like I have to walk in this certain way because if I don't, my parents are going to die. That is a strong belief system. We know intellectually that that's not true. When they're intellectual, they know in their mind, they know it's not true either. But when they get in an emotional state, because our belief systems, I think, are coded into our emotional brain as well.
What do you mean by emotional brain?
Okay, so a belief is attached to how you feel. So if you think about what I was saying earlier, the thought repeated is the belief. So a repeated thought is a belief, and with every belief you get a behaviour or a feeling, a feeling about that thought. And then when you have a feeling about something, you either feel like moving towards that feeling or moving away from that feeling. So it generates that type of behaviour. Either you're moving towards or moving away.
Yeah, so with my jiu-jitsu, when I think I can't do this, then
you retreat.
I talk myself out of it, yeah. But when it's like, I can do this, this is going to happen, then it's towards.
You go, you
so
get
it's
in
like
the car and you
towards.
Yeah, you go,
yeah,
and you actually turn up to the class rather than turn around on the roundabout and come home.
Yeah.
So that generates that behaviour of I can or I can't. That means forwards or backwards. And then once you've generated a behaviour, whatever that behaviour is, creates your experience of life. And then your experience of life will support the original thought, which was the belief. So that's the belief loop that we can get into. So I'll run through it again. A thought creates a feeling, and then the feeling generates a behaviour, and then the behaviour creates your experience, and then your experience creates your reality of your life. So if you want to break that loop somewhere, you've got to be able to break thought that started it in the first place.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Thanks.
So how do we go about then changing beliefs?
Well, in so many ways. I mean, there are lots of coaches and therapists who do specialise in belief change. If you can't do things like that yourself, and quite often it's really difficult to hear your own belief system because that's your thinking. You've thought like that all the time, so you would never know how to change. Do you know what I mean? It's like trying to cut your own hair. It's much easier to go to a hairdresser because they can see your whole head, whereas you're like this in the mirror, So I would say find someone who's good at helping you change your belief system and someone who kind of knows what they're doing. They can mirror back what you're saying, and it's usually about the giveaway for every belief system is your language, is how you talk, what words you use.
So a good coach or therapist is by asking certain questions, someone's going to start to unravel their beliefs. Yeah. And it's about awareness, isn't it? Really, once you start to be clear about what your beliefs are, you can even write them down. If you wanted to do that, and then you can, it might be quite revealing.
Really revealing, but it's like an editing process in the brain, isn't it? It's like if you, like for example, when we edit the Dipti and Toby show, actually we've never really deleted much. We always just put in the warts and all. We put in the bloopers because we just do. But if you were editing a polished film, you would not put in the bloopers. You would delete them and get rid of them and edit things together so they're seamless, wouldn't you? So this is the same idea as belief changing. You can find the bit that doesn't work and doesn't support you, and it's like you can delete it, and then you can copy and paste in something that is more useful. So if you see it in that way.
And that sounds like a submodality change. Yeah, even though you might not, when you're working with someone, might not do it in such a precise way. Another way you can do it is with a timeline as well. You can go back on a timeline and find that time where the belief was created and then, kind of update it in a way.
Yeah, it is definitely like it's like version 6.4 of yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
But you could get a new belief, but then you can keep changing it, couldn't you? As in, when I did my duathlon, the first year my friend beat me, but then the next year I thought, well, I can beat him, so I was into I can, and then I had another friend who was even faster, and at one point I was even thinking maybe I could even beat him, but the year before I'd have never thought that.
No, exactly.
But so as I'm, as you're going through your life and you're retraining and you're changing and you're getting fitter and whatever it is you're doing, that you can keep updating your belief system. Then.
But then your brain has to believe you as well in a way, doesn't it? So if your brain is in any way doubting that what your words are saying are probably not true, then it's going to give you resistance, I think. So for example...
Yeah, I mean, you'll be incongruent.
Yeah. For example, when I go to the dentist, I can have lots of treatments in my mouth without having any anaesthetic because I know how to do it. And one of the ways I do it is take myself off into a different scenario in my brain. So I kind of close my eyes and imagine I'm not in the dentist's chair. But I can't imagine I'm at a beach or something like that because my brain's going to go, you're really not at a beach because this doesn't feel like a beach, it doesn't sound like a beach, you're not at a beach, Dipti, so don't even give me that. So I'm now going to give you more anxiety. So I have to find somewhere in my mind that feels congruent with still sitting in the dentist's chair, but not being at the beach. So, for example, I'll put myself into my mind and go, right, I'm in a rocket ship. So I'm feeling kind of claustrophobic. It's dark. There's a lot of vibration. I'm jangling. I can hear funny noises. But I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing galaxies and, stars going past. So therefore my imagination is going, woohoo, but my brain isn't resisting that kind of visual.
So that's like a real-time, live belief change in the moment.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know how you do that because I can't do it. I can't. See, look, interesting. I can do it, I can't do it.
And that's why he can't do it, because he says he can't do it. Wow. Do you know how long we've been talking for?
No, because I'm missing the screen. It's really weird.
So I think we've probably talked for more.
Press the button down there.
Oh. Oh no. I don't know his password. Note to self, get a clock. 28
minutes.
Yeah, we're over. We're really over.
Well, I miss the screen. I really miss the screen because I can't see myself and it just feels like there's just a camera there that's not even doing anything. It's not flashing or...
It's the viewer.
Yes.
You've got to love the viewer.
I'm loving the viewer.
I'm loving the viewer.
Obviously, I've got to visualise the viewer being there.
I love you, viewer. The one viewer we have. I love you.
You might have one viewer. I've got loads.
Love them all. Love them all.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that, really. We've got to sign off now, unfortunately. But we will be back next week.
Okay, well, that was good. Even though I missed the lens, the screen thing. And now Dipti's going to do her thing.
My bit. So, Toby's got a YouTube channel. This is really, really exciting, everybody. So please go and subscribe to him because there's so much stuff on there. In fact, I was looking at it and there's too much stuff on there. So you need like to take 3 weeks off to go and look at Toby's YouTube channel.
Well, I've been, slowly over about the last 8 years working on, making little films about people. So interviewing people. And I've done quite a lot, but I've never put them all in one place, and they're all in one place now.
So Toby Silence is your YouTube channel, and so I will put it in with the bubble of subscription, so you can subscribe to Toby. Oh, and me, of course. And Toby, your website?
It's messagethatmove.com. Work in progress.
Which is down here somewhere. And my website is diptitate.com. And yeah, that's about it really. So of course we will give you the next video to watch, our playlist.
If I put that on now, is there a red light anywhere?
No.